Hey everyone, Mulgo Kirby here with a combat achievements guide for the Royal Titan's boss. This guide will focus on strats for those in budget gear, as this boss is aimed at mid-level players. If you have better gear, then use it and it'll be even easier. This guide will also focus on solo strats. Having a teammate only makes things easier though, so if you have a duo partner, bring them along to make things faster and easier. I will include a video in the description that has unedited full kills with timestamps for the combat achievements as an additional resource. Before we begin, there's a quick explanation of the boss and some tips for dealing with its mechanics to make sure you got the basics down. Feel free to use the timestamps to skip to specific combat achievements. At the start of a fight, the boss will switch between being far away and close up. When far away, it will be weak to range and do 2 special attacks before walking close. When close up, it will have very high range defense, so you will want to melee it, and it will do several stomps that you want to pray melee against before it walks away. The 2 specials are the elemental walls, which block your path, but you can get rid of them with fire or water spells, whichever is the opposite element to the wall. You can cast spells without worrying about attack delay on these walls. The second special is the elemental spawn. Praying melee prevents them from doing damage. However, they will explode after a while, which can't be prayed against. You can cast Fire or Water Wave to one-shot the elementals. Once again, using the element they are weak to. Your spell will hit any elementals in a 3x3 area. They will reduce your attack delay after dying. You want at least 70 plus magic accuracy to never splash against these. I like to auto-cast Fire Wave so I can just click on Ice Elementals, and then manually cast Water Wave on the Fire Elementals. But if you have a Twin Flame Staff, it will choose the correct spell for you. After one of the giants reach 210 HP, they will enter Phase 2. They are always within melee distance in this phase, so you should always focus one giant first to get to Phase 2 fast, as you will have more damage while meleeing usually. In this phase, the wall special gets replaced with the circle special. This special places a circle in the room somewhere, and you must stand on the circle to avoid heavy damage from the floor attack they do. If the circle spawns close to a giant, you can hit the giant between floor attacks, like so. Note that I use the giant's lifting up a staff as a visual cue for when to click at the start. Once one giant dies, the other will always spawn the circle far away, and will also do chip damage to you through your prayer with a regular stomp attack, so try to kill both giants around the same time. Okay, so that's the basics of the boss covered. Now, let's cover all the combat achievements. First, there's some straightforward ones that we'll go over super quick. Royal Titan Adept and Royal Titan Champion are just kill count, so just do the boss until you get enough kill count. Elemental Company, just don't attack the elementals, and one by one, don't hit the second giant until the first one is dead. Both of these will involve taking extra damage, so bring enough food and you're good. I Need Room is just clearing the fire and ice walls yourself before they disappear on their own, so always clear the walls right away. Note, it's okay if 2 walls land on the same spot, which has them clear themselves out. Autocast can help to quickly clear some walls out. Spellbook filtering for bigger spells is also nice. Okay, now to some trickier ones. First off, let them fight. A lot of people I've seen have trouble with this one, but it's very simple. Get to phase 2 of a boss fight, and then have a fire floor kill the ice elementals, and the ice floor kill the fire elementals during the circle special. One tip is if you have ice elementals on you, stand near the fire giant, as when you run to the circle, they will end up between you and the fire giant, so the fire floor will hit them. Vice versa for fire elementals and ice giant. Once 10 elementals die like this, finish the boss. It takes too long. For this one, both titans need to die during the charge up right before the circle special's first floor slam happens. For this one, get both bosses super low. You can even kick them near the end, as they are weak to crush. Then once they're low, wait for the special. As soon as you see the circle appear, use your best 4-tick special attack weapon to kill the first giant, then run and finish off the second giant. Note, the Dragon Dagger special has a delay on the second hit, so only the first hit is fast enough to kill the second giant for the achievement. So a weapon that has all its hits land at the same time would be better for finishing off the second giant, like a Dragon Halberd special or a Woodwigger special for instance. If in duo, just have each person stand on a different giant and use any weapon they want. Perfect Royal Titan. For this one, just avoid all avoidable damage. Having melee prayer up at all times will avoid most of the damage. All that's left is the elementals exploding, so always clear elementals right away. The wall is landing on top of you, so be ready to dodge. Lastly, the circle special, so just make sure you get to the circle in time. But chip damage at the end of a fight, if you kill one giant first, will not fail this task. Titan Killer. Kill the Royal Titans 15 times without anyone leaving or joining the instance partway through. This one is much easier and straightforward in a duo. Just bring lots of supplies and don't tank too much damage. So I highly recommend doing it, but it can be done solo as well, even in a budget setup. However, in solo you will probably need to prayer flick quite a bit unless you're in much more endgame gear. Having passive healing items like Blowpipe, Saragoth Sword, and Blood Fury are also real nice, so you can have more restores in your inventory and less food. The boss itself can drop food. If doing this solo in budget gear, you essentially want to avoid all avoidable damage. Prayer flick as much as you can, and kill both giants at the same time to avoid the chip damage when only one giant is alive. I will link to a video of me doing this task in very budget gear in the description if you really wish to do it solo. But once again, this one really benefits from being duo. Royal Titan Speedrunner. Kill the Royal Titans in less than 90 seconds. This is another one I highly recommend duo. Even in budget gear, this is a very generous time. However, in solo, you would need near max gear to go for a time like this. Here's an example of me getting the time. This was my first attempt after getting the ruby at the start, so it's not too hard to do, but once again, it does require endgame stealth like Scythe to solo. So, if you send a duo, just ignore the elementals, focus one giant first to get to phase 2 as fast as you can, kill the giants in phase 2 around the same time to avoid getting griefed by the circle spine max distance away, and you'll be good. Bring your best special attacks for good measure, and it should not be too bad to do in a duo. No time to pray. Kill the Royal Titans without losing any prayer points. This is one of the trickiest combat achievements. Once again, this benefits a lot from being duo, but it's doable solo. If you're confident in prayer flicking, you could just one-take flick your prayers at parts of a fight where you don't need to move around, and eat during the other parts. But you can also just not use prayer at all, and bring a bunch of food for tanking all the damage. I did this in solo and in budget gear to show all the optimizations you can do to minimize damage taken without ever using any prayers. Big thing to note, I cleared just enough walls so that I have space to move during P1. The walls can be nice for blocking off the elementals. I also kill elementals right away, as they will do a lot of damage if I'm not praying melee. Note, when they are far away, I target the middle one, so the explosion kills all 3. When the boss comes in close, the stomps do way too much damage if you don't want to flick your melee prayer on, so I instead run away, which causes the boss to skip doing the stomp attacks, and allow me to keep ranging. I get both giants below 300 HP before I get one of them to 210 HP to proc phase 2. As phase 2 will have us taking a lot more damage, so it's nice to have both of them low. Once we get to phase 2, I dump all my specs to kill a giant as fast as possible. Getting stomped by both giants at the same time will hurt a lot. With one giant left, I can comfortably finish it off while healing up any damage I take, and clearing elementals quickly. And that's all the combat achievements covered. Once again, there is a video in the description if you wish to see full unedited runs of the combat achievements with timestamps for each one in the video. Good luck on your combat achievement grinds, and see you next time. Peace.